Alright, so throughout Tekken 8, Devil Jin has faced many nerfs, and they kind of nerfed him down to the point where he's pretty much useless. But by the end of this video, I promise that I will have your Devil Jin looking like this. Damn. Alright, but now let's get into it though. So how do we make Devil Jin work? Well, it's not going to be easy, I'm not going to lie to you. But first, let's go over the main tools that we'll be using with him. First, we got forward 2, and they recently decided to nerf this move for whatever reason. Matter of fact, hold on, let me look and see. Okay. And I quote, "The move forward 2 is a mid-heat engager with excellent speed and range." Okay. But with low risk on block, it was overshadowing the use of other mid attacks. Therefore, the distance to the opponent on block has been reduced. So yeah, forward 2 was a little too strong, you know? And now that it has been properly balanced, well, we will be using it a little bit differently now. So basically, now it means that you are pretty much guaranteed to lose your turn, where before you could kind of play off the pushback, you know, setting up a back 3 or a down 1 for a wall splat. But yeah, that was apparently a little too strong, so you know, they got rid of that. So what will we do now? Well, you'll still use this move the same exact way, except you'll just be a little bit more cautious on what you do after they block it. So instead, that means we will start using mind games over mix-ups, and here's a good example of that, where this Raven blocks a forward 2, and since he knows that I'm -8, he's gonna take his time into going into his next attack. So I just electric his ass, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you better hurry your ass up. And you know, that's how you just play those mind games where you challenge your negative frames, and sometimes it pays off. But other than that, you'll still use this move pretty much the same way. And the neutral, you try to catch him with it. It'll probably still be your main wall splat option for when going for 50-50s at the wall. But yeah, I think that's it for forward 2. I don't even use it in the neutral all like that, to be honest. I use electric a lot more, and nowadays I find myself using forward 4 a little bit more than forward 2. But it really just depends on who I'm fighting against and the character I'm fighting against. And speaking of forward 4, let's talk about it. So forward 4 pretty much is forward 2 with more range, but it's slower and more linear. And I see a lot of Devil Jin players actually use this a little too much in the neutral. Like from blue to maybe Tekken Emperor, I see y'all use this move a lot, and there's definitely nothing wrong with using it, but forward 4 is a move that you're gonna have to place very well, or else you're gonna be in risk of being sidestepped and launched. So I would say about this amount of distance between you and your opponent is probably the best range to use it, because you're not too close to them and you're not too far to where they can easily sidestep. Obviously, if you use this move too close, then you're in risk of getting counter hit because it is kind of slow. But I would say this is probably the perfect range to use it at. And here's where I feel like you get the most value out of forward 4, where I get a punish with back 1-2, but since that puts so much distance between us, he's most likely gonna wake up with an attack to put a stop to my pressure. And that's pretty much what I use forward 4 to do, to keep that pressure going and to condition them to block on wake up. So now we got the electric, and I have a lot of videos for the electric, how to improve your electric, how to lane your electrics more, how to use the electric effectively in the neutral. So be sure to check out those vids. But yeah, for Devil Jin specifically, I tend to use the electric as a pressure tool, mainly because he just doesn't have many of them. So, you know, you kind of just gotta use what you got, and that tends to be the electric for me. So like right here, I try to with punish with an electric, but I didn't get it. But it is still +5, so you can still use those frames. And I got him with a up 1. So right here, electric into hell sweep and pretty devious, but if they respect your electric, then you got time to do whatever you want, you know? And yeah, I tend to get a lot of my offense started from electrics, whether it's on block or if it lands. I get a lot of my offense started from just the electric. Alright, so now we get into the good stuff, man. Down back, 1+2. And I'm not gonna lie, this move is probably the main reason I'm still using double jam. I have been struggling with this character since he got nerfed, but when I got down back 1+2 down, I've been cooking with him ever since. So the main thing with down back 1+2 is it is a move that you have to set up. It's not a move that you can just throw out at any time, like Dragunov's round 1 and 2. You kind of have to set this move up, and there is many ways to set it up. So look, right here, I get a 1-1-2 knockdown, and I start charging up the Kamehameha on his ass. But nah, since I got the 1-1-2 so close to the wall, he kind of wakes up close to me, and that's gonna set up down back 1+2. And I may do a video specifically on this to cover it in more detail. I'm just pretty much going over the basics right here. And the reason this move is so good is because it gives +17 on block, and it gives +24 at the wall, which means you can pretty much do whatever you want after that. And once you get them to respect your down back 1+2, then that's when you can just let the whole thing rip, and you would usually be able to get a guaranteed 10 frame after that. But since I wasn't close enough, I didn't get it. So instead, it probably would have been smarter for me to go for a mix-up instead. So what's gonna be the overall game plan with double jam? Well, for me, it's setting up down back 1+2 and getting them to the wall as much as possible. Now it is easier said than done because you kind of have to get a move to land in order for that to happen. And that's kind of the main issue with this character, is that you give up your turn a lot with pretty much everything that you throw out. That's why I recommend to use the electric as much as possible, because even if they block it, you know, you can still create something out of it, even in mid-screen. You just kind of have to be smart about it. But yeah, setting up down back 1+2 should be one of your main priorities. And like I said, there's many ways to set it up. You can do it after a hell sweep, after a wall combo. You can even do it after a heat engager. After you land a heat engager, you get +17. Just do it down back 1+2 to throw them off guard, and sometimes it lands. And like I said before, I will have a video explaining it more in detail on how to use it and going over the best ways to set it up, but I didn't want to make this video too long. But yeah, once you get down back 1+2 and that wall pressure going, then that's when you just put them in a blender. You know what I'm saying? Like, start mixing their ass. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this guide. If you did find it helpful, then go ahead and drop a like for me. And if you're new, then subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Machine Gang on top. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all take it easy, and I'm out.